always, my wonderful chat moderator and producer, DJ Martinez, the dancing fool.
Got a little sneak peek there, little paparazzi action going on.
And there's nothing you can do about it. That's what's beautiful about it.
Well, it's live. It's live. There's nothing we can do.
Right next to me to chat tonight about our lead-in topic, it's my son Jason. Hello, Jason.
Hello.
Our kind of resident Nintendo expert, and I mean that. He knows more than I do by quite a bit at this point, and so I wanted to make sure and have Jason with us to talk about the Mario movie trailer, which just dropped. How many hours ago, Jason?
4.
Yeah, it just dropped.
Oh yeah, I went to check it out when you told me that this morning about the thumbnail, and then I was like, oh, it's like an hour from now. I can't even watch it yet.
Yeah, come to think of it, I don't even know what our thumbnail tonight looks like because you had to make it late and you got it in without. So I'm assuming we have it. I'm gonna check real quick and see what it even looks like because I don't know. Welcome everybody. Thanks a lot for being here. We're gonna chat, like I said, about the aforementioned Mario movie trailer. That's our lead-in topic. We'll also talk a little bit. Oh, that's great. You put a hat on me. You put a Mario hat on me. And
I knew you were gonna prank me at the beginning of the show, so I got back at you ahead of time.
Sorry, I'm listening to myself pretend to be insightful. We're also going to talk about the Black Panther trailer real briefly, if that happens to come up. I was going to do kind of a dual lead-in topic, but I think the Mario trailer, even though it's short, it's a teaser, we're likely to talk about for quite a while. And I only have a couple of things to say about that new Black Panther trailer, but you saw it too.
I did.
So you can weigh in a little bit. Try to get a little closer to the mic if at all possible.
I just saw it, by the way.
As always, we'll do an Ask Me Anything show right after that, so if you want to make sure that your question, comment, concern, topic about anything under the sun within reason,
That's another show.
Now that's what the Tuesday show's been. You can leave a super chat at any dollar amount that guarantees that we chat about what you'd like us to, and we thank from the bottom of our hearts anybody who has ever or will ever do that. You guys are wonderful. Thanks so much, but don't feel like you have to do that. You can also leave a regular comment with a question or a topic, and make sure to tag DJ Martinez because he is the resident reading comments expert and he'll be feeding us the questions because I just don't know how to use a fork and a knife. I need somebody to feed me the questions, and make sure that you tag at DJ Martinez or at The Welder or at Bowser's Castle.
Feed me Seymour.
DJ will respond to any of those things and more. And anyway, thanks again for being here. We appreciate it. Tonight after the show, we're going to be doing Geekflution After Dark. Jason will not be here for that.
Why not?
Well, because you have to go to school tomorrow, and because Sonic High School is no place for Jason.
No place for kids. That's Sonic High School.
I did play him a clip of that because it was hilarious, but I didn't.
I
let
know
him listen
I'm
to
only
too
in
much of
middle
it.
school, but I'm old enough to be in high school.
That doesn't mean that even high school kids are necessarily old enough to read some of that nonsense. But yeah, so we're going to be doing that later. Brandon and I, possibly Austin. DJ's not going to be able to stay late tonight, so it'll be at least me and Brandon, but possibly Austin as well. And that will be for the patrons, patreon.com/geekvolution. The $2 tier gets you access to that. Once again, you guys are great. Thanks a bunch for being here. Let's go ahead and get right into the lead-in topic. DJ, you did get a chance to see the trailer, yes?
I did, yes.
What did you think of it right out the gate?
Oh, going with my opinion first.
Why not?
Well, I am pretty much in agreement with us on Tuesday. It looks great. I love the look of it. And when I say it looks great, I don't mean like sometimes how we say that movie looks great from the trailer. I mean, it literally looks great. Like the visuals I have no problems with them. They look really good. And it doesn't look like an Illumination film. It just looks like a Mario film. And that's very exciting. But then the same reservations I had on Tuesday, I still have because the voices are the only thing that took me out. Chris Pratt sounds like Chris Pratt, and he should not be a voice actor. I don't know why we're trying to make him a voice actor. He just sounds like himself. And then Jack Black I thought was great until his last line. He sounds I didn't even know it was him. I didn't even know Jack Black was playing Bowser until the last line when he just sounds 100% like Jack Black when he says like, "And who will stop me?" and like goes straight into Jack Black. But before that, he sounded great.
I think it'll work. I think Bowser occasionally breaking character to just be Jack Black is fine for that.
Oh
character.
yeah, I'm not gonna complain. I freaking love Jack Black.
I love Jack Black. So excited about him as Bowser. That's fantastic.
He didn't realize it, like, or he forgot until, because we watched the Direct.
We watched the Nintendo Direct, so we got to see it as it was broadcast live.
So we saw
cool.
like Miyamoto and stuff like talk about the movie for a little bit and
being a little awkward and saying the really obvious things like he tends to. I mean, I love Miyamoto, but it's like, yeah, we get it.
and then Dad heard Chris Pratt be like, and my good friend Jack Black playing Bowser, and then Jack Black comes on screen and talks, and he's like, wait, what?
Jack Black comes on screen. Chris Pratt clearly had no idea what he was gonna say. By the way, on his end, they're both on webcams and they're not.
Yeah,
talking
they've
to
never
each
met
other.
each other.
So it's just like Miyamoto pretending like he's talking to these guys, and they cut to Chris Pratt, and Chris Pratt's like, this has been a dream since childhood, and it was real charming what he had to say, but he was kind of flubbing his words a little bit, wasn't totally sure what he was gonna say, and then you go to Jack Black, and it was like he had this rehearsed thing, or he's just so good at off the cuff, he jumps right in, and it's like he knows just what he's gonna say, and Jack Black goes, "You don't know how hard it was to learn how to breathe fire."
Yeah. When I said it's gonna take me out, that's just because I know what Jack Black sounds like. I'm not saying I'm not gonna enjoy it because I love Jack Black, but it might. I'll just be like, oh yeah, that's Jack Black every time he does one of those.
I get why the Chris Pratt thing is gonna be a problem for diehard Mario fans, because there's a lot of people that just want Charles Martinet to voice it and just want Mario to sound like Mario has sounded since 1996 with Mario 64. The problem with that is, do you really want that high-pitched voice giving like lines, like pages of dialogue? I don't think it would work. I think you need something different.
I don't want to listen to that for an hour and a half. That would get really annoying. But I do want him to do some kind of voice. He just doesn't sound like a voice actor. He just sounds like he's in a booth. We've only got 2 lines. Okay?
They made a mistake with that teaser, because this is what, and it's almost, they're not self-aware enough about it. It's almost like they don't realize that what everybody's been waiting for, maybe even more than what's the look going to be. Obviously, 2 big questions people had. It's Illumination. Is it going to look too much like their movies stylized that way? Oh no, It doesn't. It looks like it's going to be an hour and 45-minute long cutscene. Mm-hmm. Fantastic. That's all anybody wants. Why couldn't the Sonic movies have been this? This is all anybody wants.
Well, the Sonic cutscenes are terrible.
Well, you could make them better, but I agree. But they could look like those and tell a better story and have better voices.
I quit playing. What is it? What's the game with the werewolf? I quit playing that game because of the
Sonic
first
the Werehog.
cutscene. I didn't even play the game.
Unleashed.
Unleashed is that game, yeah. No, I'm with you, but you hear what I'm saying. Yeah. What I mean is, why couldn't Sonic have been 100% animated and just been a colorful, more or less looked like the 3D Sonic games? But anyway, with this, it's is it going to be Illumination, like style of animation and have pot of humor and stuff? Okay, it doesn't look like they're doing that. It looks like Nintendo is really reining them in. It being part of a Nintendo Direct strikes me as Nintendo saying, we have our gloves on this, and we're making this. Keep in mind, it's been 30 years since they've allowed anybody to attempt to make a Mario movie, and they didn't have the kind of quality control on that first movie that they're clearly trying to enact on this. So, and I said this on Tuesday, I have issues with the way Nintendo does business and how kind of anti-consumer they've become, and stories we've heard lately about how they treat their employees and stuff like that. So I don't love everything about Nintendo and how they do business, but this does seem like a case where they maybe should be micromanaging this property a little bit. Here's what it's supposed to look like. Here's what the flavor of it needs to be versus the kinds of stuff that you guys have been making. And it seems like at the planning stages, they must have, or before they even signed anything, they must have come up with an agreement that there's a particular direction that this has to go, or you can't make a Nintendo movie.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe they went with Illumination because they're a smaller studio and they kind of gave them free reign. Maybe if they would have went with one of the bigger animation studios, there would have been too much pushback.
It really just looks like Nintendo making a Mario movie.
Yeah.
For the most part. There is a little bit of Illumination in that trailer, and I'll talk about that. But so it's that, and then people, of course, were wondering what is Chris Pratt's voice going to sound like. I think the biggest mistake with the teaser is that you didn't let him talk a little bit longer just to give people a flavor of what his kind of, like, in the middle, like trying to find that line between doing the Mario voice and just sounding like Chris Pratt is, because he's clearly doing a little bit of a faux Italian thing, but it's so minimal in the like one complete sentence we got from him. We don't have enough to go on yet, so I'm reserving judgment on that to some degree. I will say right out the gate, I wish it wasn't Chris Pratt. Like, I don't mind what he's doing with it in trying to split the middle. I just wish for Mario it was somebody I didn't recognize. I think what you do, this is a case where they should have followed Sonic's suit, right? Where you get and this is one of the only really positive things I'll say about how that movie was handled. You get a kind of nobody or somebody that's not real well known to voice your protagonist, and then your villain is your really recognized, beloved actor, where like that's your kind of stunt casting. This has worked going all the way back to Superman. You know, you have a no-namer playing Superman, and you have a big beloved actor playing your villain, and we've done this over and over again. 89 maybe to a slightly lesser degree because people knew who Michael Keaton was, but even that still kind of has that with the Joker. And so that's maybe what this should have done. Jason, I have a prediction. I think Chris Pratt will go high when he's doing exclamations. Yeah. I think when he jumps and when he's running, I think he'll get a lot of yahoos and that kind of thing. Because there's no reason that he can't have vocal range playing the character. So when he's just talking to a toad, he sounds like a slightly higher pitched Chris Pratt, but he's not constantly going like, "It's a me, Marty," because you don't want to listen to that for 2 hours. I'm telling you.
I do not. I'm with you. And it's like I said, we got ooh. I mean, it's hard to do a voice and an accent when you're just falling on mushrooms. And then he says like, "What is this place?" And then he says one line and runs away. So we don't have too much.
And then at the end he just says like, "Let's go to the Mushroom Kingdom," and or here we go to the or whatever it is, and that's it. That's all you get. He sounds like Chris Pratt not trying to do a Mario, but trying to sound like he's 8 years old.
Which is like basically Incredibles 2, which was very distracting for me when I've got like these 40-year-old people trying to do the kids' voices still. The other big takeaway I got from this was they were not ready to put out a trailer. They're like, it's like they asked them and they're like, "What do you guys got?" Like, we have this one scene with Bowser finished. And maybe if you give us till Thursday, we can get a couple seconds of Mario falling into the Mushroom Kingdom. Got it. Perfect. See you Thursday. And then they just stuck it out. Like, it wasn't even a trailer. It was like one little bit of a scene and then one other couple of chopped up bits of a scene, and then they just slapped it together.
But I mean, it is a teaser before it's a trailer.
They're all saying trailer on it. They're not saying teaser.
No, it's a teaser.
Yeah, like, it is a teaser, but they call it a trailer.
We get this all the time for first drops, where like a lot of channels that upload it will call it trailers. But look at I think IGN has it as a teaser.
Yeah, it's definitely a teaser. It's just weird. Like, it seems long for a teaser. Like, that Bowser scene's pretty long.
Okay, but let me throw you a rebuttal, and I'm gonna argue with you because I actually watch more trailers than you do, because you go to movies intentionally without seeing them a lot. Animated movies do this kind of teaser all the time, especially Illumination, where they like to give you what feels like a whole scene with a gag at the end, and then some clips of stuff after it. The only difference with this is you got 2 of those. So I guess that's kind of what's weird about it. But the Bowser thing at the beginning, like, I mean, Pixar used to do that a lot back in the day. DreamWorks always did stuff like that.
Oh yeah, yeah. I love Pixar's old trailers, but that wasn't even a scene from the movie. They would just like film a little weird skit thing that was always fun.
Well, that's true, and actually, your DreamWorks would sometimes do that kind of thing too, where it wouldn't even. You're right, where it wouldn't necessarily be a thing that was in the trailer.
Imagine if this was a DreamWorks.
Not Madagascar. Movie. What movie am I thinking of? Ice Age would do that, right? Where like their trailers were always what's that animal?
Just Scrat running around trying to.
Yeah,
get them
I've never seen those, so I didn't know the character's name. But yeah, it was always like, oh, he's running away from glaciers because it's Ice Age. Anyway, where was that?
Imagine if this was a DreamWorks movie. It would probably be not great.
Well,
either not great or just okay.
So DreamWorks' quality of storytelling has gotten better over the years, but I like Kung Fu Panda. They have some good movies. How to Train Your Dragon used to be one of your favorite movies.
I don't remember that movie at all. So.
And I never sat through the whole thing.
I had a really weird experience watching this.
But I don't like their animation typically, is the point I was going to make. Sorry, go
yeah,
ahead.
No, they have some beautiful films, but yeah, it's kind of all over the place with DreamWorks. It depends on who's creating it. I had a really weird experience watching this because, like I said, I didn't know Jack Black was playing Bowser. And in that opening scene, I was like, wow, this feels like Kung Fu Panda. Because you've got like this army versus this army. And like, oh, this is reminding me of Kung Fu Panda. And then he says that line where he's just 100% in his Jack Black voice. And he sounds exactly like Po from Kung Fu Panda. It was very weird.
Blue Dragon 5 says, and yet the Captain Logan show is calling this trailer talk. Well, when we get teasers, they're like... Very often these days, 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes. Like, I think of trailers and teasers almost like the same thing now. I was just making the teaser argument to say to DJ, I wasn't surprised that we didn't see more than we did. But you could be right. It's just, the movie comes out next April. They have to be farther along than that for an animated project. Like, Miyamoto made a big deal out of it. They've been working on it for 2 years already. Like, there's no way this is all they have.
Well, yeah, and I didn't want it to be longer or want to see more. It just seemed like a weird trailer because it was like really heavy on one scene and then a couple seconds instead of like showing you different parts of the movie.
No, I'll agree with that. I was actually, I thought I thought your larger point there was the Bowser scene at the beginning going as long as it did, and I was just saying that's typical animation first trailer stuff. Let's not get into semantics. First trailer, teaser, whatever.
Yeah.
Like the first trailer doesn't give you as much as later on, and they're not as longer. That's the only point I was making.
Yeah, it was just a weird first. This is the first thing people are seeing. It just seemed like a little lopsided, and then throwing in the Luigi stuff at the end, which was fun.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Right. Well, yeah. it gave me Dry Bones, and I love Dry Bones. He's my favorite, good. So I was like, yeah.
And it's a scared Luigi, which is
I got
you have to do that.
Mansion vibes the whole time.
Well, Austin made a really good point about that when he and I were talking about it earlier today. That's exactly what he said. He was like, I was really hoping they'd take their cues from Luigi's Mansion, and you've got him in a Bowser Castle kind of setting, running away from scary stuff. That's exactly right. It just looks authentic. I mean, like, Austin's whole takeaway was, well, it looks like Mario, and that's what you want. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. It looks like Mario. It looks like Mario cutscenes for a whole movie, and that's wonderful.
Smash Fan 76, Chris Pratt sounds like Super Show Mario to me. I agree.
Is that good or bad?
No, that's good. Because that was a really good fine line between like Italian accent and just your normal voice.
I wonder if he's looking at that on purpose.
Maybe. I don't know.
But do you guys agree with me? Sorry, going back to a point that I didn't quite finish earlier. Do you guys agree with me that the biggest thing this trailer really needed to, or teaser, whatever, needed to do for fans was to give us a little bit of a better sense of what that voice was going to be. Especially because yesterday, Chris Pratt, like, he's been really building up to, like, I've been working on this voice really hard, and it's not going to be quite what you expect, and I'm not doing exactly the game thing, and I don't want to give anything away. This was months ago. Then yesterday he does a YouTube short where the short was called, like, Tomorrow the Mario trailer be like ... And then he just goes on camera, and he keeps putting his face too close to webcams. By the way, he needs to stop doing that. I like Chris Pratt, but like, stop it. It's awkward. He's just like, I'm making a video.
Yeah.
He gets up in his camera and he just goes, it's a me, Mario. He's
And he
making
did that.
way too big of a deal out of, I've got this voice, I have this whole take, and then we hear it, and it's like, yeah, that's about what I expected.
And do you remember that, like, 10-second thing that he made, like, a few months ago? Like, right after, I guess this was, like, a year ago. Like, right after we found out that he was playing Mario. And he talked a little bit, and then he was like, it's me, Mario.
That's what I'm talking about, yeah.
It sounds the exact same. He's like, that's not what the voice is gonna be. Yeah, that's what the voice is.
But I wouldn't put it past him to still be joking and still be trolling people with his shorts he's putting out, because that seems like the kind of guy he is. He always makes jokes.
The modulation he's doing, what he's doing with his voice is so subtle, no one is noticing it because he sounds like Chris Pratt. And that wouldn't even be as big of a deal if it wasn't for the fact that he was the main character in the Lego movie, which is where a lot of people even saw him in the first place, because he was that came out even before Guardians, right? And then and then the other thing is everybody's comparing this to Lego Movie, saying, I really hope that this is like the Lego Movie. And it's Chris Pratt again. It's not his fault. I just don't think he was the right person to be cast, because that's where everybody's focus is.
Yeah. Well, and you've got...
and what it ought to be on is the animation, because it looks great.
I think he should be doing more of a Brooklyn accent.
Or cast somebody who can do a good Brooklyn accent.
Yeah. I think that, I don't know. Like, I think he would do a better Brooklyn accent than an Italian accent.
That's an interesting point, but the problem is we've heard Mario in games for almost 30 years doing this like faux Italian accent, and everything about this trailer looks like Mario has looked like for the last like decade. So it would be a little bit weird putting those two things together, but that's a really interesting point.
Also, I don't really agree with you guys saying that, like, it doesn't really look like an Illumination movie. It just kind of looks like Mario cutscenes. It looks like Mario cutscenes if it was an Illumination movie.
Which is a good thing or a bad thing?
I don't like how Illumination does their, like, I don't like the art style.
But I don't think this is their art style.
It totally is.
Okay.
Like,
Interesting.
I don't like Mario's face. And I showed it to Freddy.
I'm not
he
getting
like
that,
because
he was saying that the other day when he found a leaked image from a McDonald's thing, which is the same image that they put out today actually, and you were like, it's so detailed, and I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. It just looks like Mario to me.
No, it is very it is like the most detailed Mario we've gotten, but I don't like the face. It's just too cartoony. Like.
Okay, but you gotta give them Bowser.
Like,
Bowser looks fantastic.
I love Bowser. Mario's really like the only thing. Also, I kind of got like thrown away by penguins. I was kind of just like.
Well, I got excited because those look like the penguins from Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
Tropical Freeze. I was like, yes.
Yeah, and I don't know if that was intentionally supposed to be the Tropical Freeze penguins. Everybody's going to the penguins from 64, and they show up in a lot of other games too.
Yeah, Mario Kart.
Okay, so any other Jason like Easter, you knowing what you know, any other like Easter eggs or things that this reminded you of, and then we'll talk some predictions a little bit.
Okay. So this was a very big mix of cutscenes from Mario Galaxy and cutscenes from Bowser's Fury.
Bowser's entrance especially is right out of Galaxy.
And that, and that big island that he has, I'm pretty sure, I haven't played Bowser's Fury that much, but is like straight out of the first cutscene.
Which is so weird, because that just came out like a year and a half ago?
And, yeah, and they, like, because it, like, covers the sun, and it makes it everything all dark.
And I haven't played that.
That's the story of Bowser's Fury. You're trying to get all the, like, shards or whatever, and you go into, like, his island and, like, jump around and stuff, and you're just trying to collect shards to make his fortress thing go away. Like, that's the whole mission.
Daniver says it's the baby penguin that Mario tries to throw off a cliff, which is what everybody keeps going to. But it's, but to DJ's point, but it's like an army of them.
Yeah.
And they're wearing get-ups that kind of look like in Tropical Freeze, so I'm wondering if they're mixing them. And the other thing is, you have to expect some Donkey Kong Country in this movie. Because we know Donkey Kong is in it, and voiced by Seth Rogen, right?
Yes.
Who everybody thinks I look like. And then but also Cranky.
Donkey Kong?
But also Cranky Kong was cast.
Yeah, Seth Armiston or whatever.
So if Cranky Kong's in it,
amazing.
then it has to have some Donkey Kong Country influence here and there, I would assume. But I also wonder.
Man, I would have saved Donkey Kong for the second movie. That's a lot.
There is the worry of too much being all thrown together. But anyway, what else were you seeing in the trailer?
In the trailer, yeah, the Koopa Troopa army. Some of those outfits are straight out of Paper Mario.
Yep.
Like the eye patch and like the armor guy that falls down. Like those are just straight out of Paper Mario. And I'm pretty sure.
And you said you were seeing stuff, or at least getting vibes from the original RPG on Super Nintendo.
Yeah, and that whole scene just feels like an RPG battle.
Yeah.
Like,
that gag is the most Illumination thing in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's just like standard kids movie gag. That
it is, yeah. But it's
like
not,
literally that gag.
But they're not doing any kind of like gross out stuff with it. It's harmless. I thought it was actually kind of funny just because of the timing of it. Like it actually had a decent comedic timing.
Well, usually it's a cut to it. I've never seen it actually like pan over. That was kind of clever.
Yeah.
It was a nice shot. The way they zoomed out and panned at the same time.
Well, I think what made it funny was the penguin doubling down after it. Where they attack Bowser with just snowballs, and it seems real epic, and then they back off, and it's just some snowballs, and it does nothing, and then he goes, like something like, do you relent now, or whatever he says, and I'm like, that's really funny. So like they might be.
Do you yield?
Do you yield? That's pretty
Jack
good.
Black was like, no, I don't.
Anyway, so anything else you guys want to say about it before we move on to questions and subjects?
Keegan-Michael Key is just doing a Toad voice.
Yeah, it's like, straight up Toad.
It's just
yeah, Toad sounded good. They pitched it up a little bit. It sounds great. It's just Toad.
Yeah.
Which I would have been surprised if it wasn't after seeing the poster the other day, DJ, because I was like, oh, they haven't done anything style like to change the Toad style. It just looks like Toad, like right out of the games. And so if he sounded any different at all, well, of course you're gonna say that. What's different about it? What tiny minute thing is different about it that's gonna make you seem nerdier than me?
There are more pores on his nose, Captain Logan.
His pants are more like sweatpants than in the game. And
I'm saying in the face. I'm saying in the shape of the body.
Yeah, and they have the little like tie thing that sweatpants have.
Cinematographic, I only saw the trailer once. Seth Rogen is in this. He's not in the trailer, and that's the other thing that I was kind of so we've had a cast list for a while and known. I keep forgetting who's in this until you brought it up again today. But we've known for a while who several of the voices are going to be, and it was to DJ's point earlier, kind of a surprise that we didn't see Peach yet or Donkey Kong. But that's of course a pretty standard strategy for things like this. Give you a couple of big things and then make you wait for everything else. Do you guys think they did a good enough job of alleviating a lot of fans' fears about it being Illumination without giving us all the voices yet?
I don't know about fans, but they did for me, and I think you guys, or at least you, Cap.
I am actually scared about Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong. Like,
he's just gonna sound just like Seth Rogen.
He's just gonna be Seth Rogen, yeah.
Yeah, I really think they should.
Which I think works for Bowser, but I don't know if it will with Jack Black. I don't know if it will with him. But anyway, I'm sorry.
I don't know how I feel about that because Donkey Kong doesn't speak that much, so I don't have like a very distinct.
Okay,
Donkey
but
Kong
how
voice
funny would
in
it
my
be
head.
if Seth Rogen came in and he wasn't speaking in complete sentences and it was just that guy but going hey hey hey?
No, I really think they should have cast like a black guy for Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
But
Just because you just want like a real deep bass voice.
Yeah.
Well, here's what it's interesting you said that because Kevin Michael Richardson is in this movie, and he would have been a really good Bowser.
Yeah.
Even though I'm stoked for Jack Black, but as soon as, like, I don't know who he's voicing, but as soon as I saw his name at the end of that trailer, I was like, oh, there's a number of characters in Mario he'd be great for.
Yeah. But yeah,
You said something about Spike.
I'm pretty sure he's from Spike, from Wrecking Crew, which is a deep pull because that means that they're straight up doing origin for Mario, going through I hope they go through like a bunch of jobs that he gets fired from because he has so many jobs in like NES and SNES games and Game Boy games.
You think that'll be his arc? Like, that's his like first like 5 minutes. He just keeps getting fired, and then he goes to the Mushroom Kingdom, and he finally finds something that he's good at.
That would be hilarious.
They could do that. That's a pretty standard kids movie arc where he finally finds his purpose, and it's running around saving penguins.
Yeah, that really tells you that they're really like looking at game lore.
Yeah, I like your idea of going kind of chronologically through games for the origin and kind of catching us up in let's have Mario like go up against Donkey Kong, and that's one of the first things he does. I don't know if they'll do that. I kind of expect much more of like a at some point in the movie he goes to DK Island for some reason. Like I much more expect like a whole Donkey Kong Country thing as opposed to like going up scaffolding with barrels. I really don't expect that.
Especially because they cast Cranky Kong. I feel like we're just going to go to that.
Cranky Kong's supposed to be the original Donkey Kong. It wouldn't make any sense to have both.
Yeah, why is Cranky Kong in the movie if they're not doing that? Like
I think they're just going to go to Donkey Kong Island and like we'll see everybody for a minute. For like 10 minutes, and then
you don't like this is not mutually exclusive. You can have a Mario that's never met Donkey Kong and have a Donkey Kong lineage that just didn't include Mario.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? I think that's likely. Jason is suggesting that they'll do like a flash forward thing. Yeah. And I don't given what we got with the trailer, I really don't think they're doing that.
But because it's because Cranky Kong's like Cranky Kong was one of the first people that we see in the like cast list.
Yeah.
When we saw who
that doesn't mean it's in chronological order.
No, that's not what I mean.
And that doesn't mean he has a huge role either. That just means the actor.
That means he was cast and he's in there somewhere.
Because Cranky Kong is there, my thinking is that it will probably, like, at least open, like, the first 5 minutes be Donkey Kong, or he goes to DK Island and Cranky Kong, like, just talks about it for a few minutes or something.
Yeah, but, like, we see Mario enter, essentially, like, the first time he's in the Mushroom Kingdom.
Yeah,
and, like, he's in the Mushroom Kingdom. It'd be
like,
kind of weird if you did Donkey Kong right after that. I don't know.
That's, like, second act.
I don't think so. I think that's the opening of the movie.
I hope we don't wait till the second act before we get to the Mushroom Kingdom.
No, that's not how it should be. If it's an origin story for Mario, it should not start in the Mushroom Kingdom.
Well, keep an open mind because I don't think they're gonna do what you want.
The first act should be like it should be.
They clearly didn't get the right writer for this film.
It should. He's very adamant.
This is what they're supposed to
act, what's another word for should?
And you need Mario and Luigi like fight each other so you can represent the first Mario Brothers game. Like that needs to happen. And if you don't do that, it's wrong.
Yeah, and they got to go off screen and come back on the
It makes more sense.
They have to be able to wrap
an
around.
Origin story to, especially since it's Miyamoto.
See, he's like, you need to have like a big, a big thing hanging in the middle where you can shake the whole screen. And
it's like you gotta do it in one of the RPX theaters where it rumbles your chair.
That'd be awesome.
Like if it starts.
Da, 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 da. Boom, 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 boom,
Oh,
boom, boom,
I forgot to mention one thing. I can pretty surefire say that I'm gonna like about this movie is the score. I'm excited for what they're doing with the score, like that little dun dun dun.
I'm concerned
like that
about it.
slow part. I like
I'm
that.
concerned and I'm not concerned. So, Miyamoto made a big deal out of they're using a lot of game themes, and they made sure to win that into the score. It's also Brian Tyler, and I don't typically like his scores, so I'm like this on it, DJ.
Yeah.
Like it's Brian Tyler, and he's been asked to integrate those themes, but when he's not integrating themes, what's his music gonna sound like? That's the question. Because it's not going to be 100% music you've heard before.
Yeah.
He'll be also putting in his own music. And he's just kind of hit and miss. Like, he doesn't have the best track record.
I hope he will be inspired by all the stuff he has to work with, and it comes out. It comes out pretty good.
If Mushroom Kingdom...
I'm surprised that's who they went with. Honestly. Because you're right. Like, hopefully this is the kind of project that he really wants to do, and some of his scores haven't been the best just because he hasn't been, real excited to work on them. Like, you and I both love his Iron Man 3 theme.
Yeah, his Iron Man 3 score is wonderful.
So he's done good work. It's just some of the stuff he gets picked for is probably not the easiest stuff to score for. Like, he did the Expendables movies and some of the Fast and the Furious movies and stuff like that.
He did good with Avengers Age of Ultron, taking what Silvestri had done and kind of adding to that. So hopefully we can do the same. Hopefully we can do the same thing with this.
But I mean, like, he did Dark World, but like, it's Dark World. He's like looking at a boring movie trying to score it.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. His music might actually be the best thing in that movie.
Daniver says he's cheap. That's why.
Oh, maybe so.
Brian Tyler will probably do a traditional colorful score because it's an animated film. I hope we get a lot of themes and deep pulls from all over the place. I'm not seeing very much Mario World in this yet. And I'm thinking, DJ, that might be one of the big things they're going to wait for a sequel to show us much of. Like, we've got nothing about Yoshi yet. Not casting, not anything. And that's a whole island. Like,
yeah, that should be the sequel, Wario. I guess. If you're not going to do... See, I mean, my perfect world...
That's a good
Bowser,
point, too.
Bowser would be the first one, and then he would go up against Donkey Kong. You could have Donkey Kong be a villain for like the beginning of the second movie, and then he becomes a good guy in the second movie. But if we're not going to do Donkey Kong, Yoshi would be a good place to go for the second one.
Yeah,
because that's a whole other aesthetic potentially.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't mean to contradict myself. I know earlier I said I'm kind of expecting us to maybe just go to DK Island, but that's just because you got Cranky Kong. Like, what else do you do?
It's going to be interesting to mix. I guess we've done this plenty now. Obviously, the original Donkey Kong has a much different aesthetic than Mario, but now they've been in the same games for so many times. It's not going to be a big deal that they're to match the aesthetics on those.
Well, with Smash and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, we blend all of this stuff together to make one big universe now.
Also, we should talk about how Nintendo bought a company.
Go ahead. I don't know what you're talking about.
Nintendo Pictures.
Okay. I don't know what he's talking about.
A couple days ago, they bought out their own movie company.
Oh.
They're gonna do it, and they're actually
Fixtures.
Yeah, Nintendo.
Sounds
Pictures.
like a
They're
light fixture company.
Actually doing a cinematic universe.
That's weird that they would do that before this has come out. Well, DJ, it's like Sony Pictures. It's like any other movie company with pictures at the end of it. It's just I didn't know what he meant at first because I didn't realize he was.
I couldn't hear him. I thought he said fixtures.
No, he said like... Nintendo Pictures. I didn't know about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know about that.
That's bizarre. Like, why didn't they do that in the first place and then just make this movie? Why are they doing it in League with Illumination?
Well, it seems kind of like a big, like, I don't know what I can say appropriately, but it seems like a big middle finger to Illumination. Like, hey, you gave us the money to make this one movie, and now we're gonna leave you and just go do our own thing. Like,
yeah, and we're gonna buy it out, and we're gonna announce it, and then we're gonna put your movie out, and then there's after that, maybe they'll keep working with them in conjunction, like Nintendo Pictures with Illumination making stuff, maybe. But that's weird.
Well, I mean, Marvel Studios became a studio, and then Disney owns it, but it's still its own studio, so like it could happen, I guess.
Well, that's true. But, well, and I guess they also had to farm things out to other studios, like, while they were becoming a studio. This feels kind of different, though. 2 days before the teaser comes Okay,
It's like
no,
Dark
I'm sorry,
Universe
I didn't
vibes.
realize that. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
So if Mario in the Mushroom Kingdom is one of the first things that happens in the movie, then why is Foreman Spike a character?
I don't know.
I don't like how.
But
is
all
it,
these things could
there's
be
no
still
way.
in the Mushroom Kingdom.
Yeah, that could just be a
it can't.
It
can't?
can,
No,
trust me. It can.
can't.
It's just not possible?
It's not possible.
Okay.
Mario can't be a what's it called?
But I mean, you've got pipes too. You just take pipes to wherever they want to take them in the movie. And like, so if they wanted to do Dinosaur Island and do Yoshi in this movie, you know, via that, they could. It's just, I think they're probably packing so much in, they're going to be careful to save something huge. And I'm predicting that's the huge thing they're saving, that they'll do a whole kind of Mario World aesthetic for another movie. Because, do you agree with me that that's possible?
Yeah. So should we go to what's it called? Like what we think will happen in the movie.
Yeah, if you've got predictions, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I thought one of you could go first because I already.
Well, I kind of did already. My first big
Yeah,
prediction is Yoshi won't be in this movie, or he'll be the you know, mid credits or something, and they'll save him for later, and probably like the Koopa kids.
Yeah.
They'll probably save all that for later.
Yeah. I think that'll be the big thing at the end is Koopalings.
DJ, do you have any big predictions?
No, not really. And we weren't saying that it was going to be the very, very, very first thing as he gets dropped in the Mushroom Kingdom. But you said second act. I don't think it's going to take that long. That's all we were saying, Jason.
Yeah.
I'm sure there will be some stuff in the beginning before he gets there, but
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to take that long.
Yeah, but I'm not with Jason that they're gonna make this like a. I love your idea, and I wish they'd do that, but I don't think they will. I don't think it'll be like a history of Mario games up until the Mushroom Kingdom. Like he goes through pipes, and first he goes to like Wrecking Crew and other stuff, and then goes to the. I don't think that's gonna happen.
No, that's his life before Mushroom Kingdom.
Oh, that's what you're suggesting?
Yeah.
I guess we'll see.
Lives as a.
Oh, okay. So when you say
Yeah.
the Foreman Spike, you're
just
saying
his boss.
Foreman Spike is Mario's boss.
Okay.
I think that's
getting-
totally true, but I just don't. I think it'll be like 10 minutes or maybe 15 minutes of the movie. I don't think it's going to take.
I don't
that
think they
long
should
before we
spend
see
a whole first act outside of the. So it'll be interesting to see what that looks like.
No,
and-
I really. So I think it'll.
And how that might parallel Wreck-It Ralph too.
Yeah. And I think it'll be
The Anniversary Mario teaches typing sequence.
yes. But yeah,
Can we have a whole movie called Mario is Missing, please?
No.
Sorry, go ahead.
But yeah, I'm thinking I think it will be Mario lives in the real world. He might be Italian. He's Italian, and he's trying to get like different jobs, and this might take 15 minutes. This might take 30 minutes, and he does Donkey Kong, like he does the whole Pauline thing, or it is Peach, and then
He had this whole idea that Peach and Pauline might just be the same character.
And then
Can do a little condensing.
Bowser comes in.
You know, I think that would be weird, especially in with modern sensibilities these days. So you're saying we're gonna have a princess character who gets kidnapped at the beginning, a la King Kong, and then gets kidnapped again later by Bowser.
Yeah.
Not going to happen.
Maybe I don't know.
Not real likely.
And then
I don't think she's gonna get kidnapped.
then
at
I
all.
think he gets his.
I don't think she will either.
He gets
You know what I
his
think she
next-
will do though? I think she'll float.
That would be awesome.
I think that'll happen. I think you know, her dress will flurl out and she'll float.
Yeah, he
Or
gets
just like
his
one
first job,
scene, yeah.
Wrecking Crew, Foreman Spike, whatever. Then Bowser comes in, and he has to go like with Luigi, like they're plumbers now or whatever.
Yeah.
And they have to go to the Mushroom Kingdom to save Peach from Bowser. Like he might have like just met Peach or something, and he has to save her.
I don't think she gets kidnapped because they made a big deal with the trailer that he's just after Mario 64 stars.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't.
but I'm thinking...
Which is awesome, by the way.
I'm thinking Peach, like, her cat, like, there are stars in her castle.
Sure.
So...
So he takes her castle over, but doesn't care about her or something. Like, I really don't think she'll get kidnapped.
She stands in his way.
Yeah.
I'm thinking. I also had this whole thing about maybe the movie being a musical, but after seeing the trailer,
it won't be.
Probably not.
It almost certainly won't be a musical. And that would be a mistake. First of all, that's not the composer you get if it's a musical. And second of all, it would be pretty weird because with the way they're talking about themes from games. If you tried to like come up with lyrics to go with the themes. You know,
take a page and a pen, drop a mushroom, add an egg.
What is that
do
from?
More. It's a really old, from like 10 years ago, like
this really old
DSI thing that someone made about how to draw Mario.
I was just thinking the Mario theme from the old cartoon.
Yeah. And yes, do the
Do the Marios. Take one look.
Take one step, and then again. Let's do
that's
the
it.
Mario
All together now. Still better than the Mario World theme. For the cartoon show that they did for Mario World, which is a spin-off of that. Super Mario World, it's a blast from the past. Super Mario World.
You've got to move fast. Super
Mario World. It's really bad.
It's really bad.
Sounds like it.
I want that for the sequel. Okay, couple of real easy, quick predictions from me. I think there will be a Mario Kart sequence. No question about it. And I think it's also possible that there could be some kind of contrivance to make other sports happen. I could really see a Mario Tennis scene, just find a way to sneak it in there.
Mario draws himself and cuts it out, and then it's Paper Mario.
No, that's quite a stretch. I also think, given that Peach's castle is there in the poster, I think there is a good chance that we'll get jumping through pictures on the wall.
Also, another prediction from me, I think it'll be less like...
And Ghost House. You'll definitely get a Ghost House.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. At some point, he's going to get a water backpack that he has to clean up the place.
Flood. My big prediction is I think it won't be more... It'll be less like the original Mario 1 and more like Mario 3. Because the poster has a lot of Mario 3 stuff in it.
Yep.
And it is just very Mario 3, like, aesthetically. And
it's got
he's
the music blocks.
Mushrooms. Yeah. And it's got like, you know, like the chest thing?
Yeah, that you open up and you get the warp whistle or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, that's in there. That's like a big sign. And then they're selling music blocks and P-switches.
Okay, we are already almost at an hour, and we've only talked about this trailer. If you guys want to keep talking Mario in general or this trailer, feel free to. But once again, Super Chat gets whatever you want us to talk about, talked about, and we are going to go till probably about 9 o'clock my time, so it won't be quite 2 hours tonight, because we've got After Dark, and that's about when Brandon will be here. So let's give you guys the floor and talk about whatever you want to talk about as soon as Jason finishes this last point.
So, I have a question for you guys.
Yes, sir.
So if
Shooting backwards here. What's up?
So if Nintendo does do a cinematic universe, what other games would you want them to do?
So we had this conversation on Tuesday, and the first thing is I don't want to jump the gun and assume cinematic universe unless you've heard something I haven't. That like they're definitely doing cinematic universe.
I have not heard anything about a universe, but they have made their own company, and So that kind of leads me to believe
different
maybe.
properties don't necessarily mean it'll all be a continuity like MCU.
Yeah,
and Nintendo
no,
doesn't
that
have
is.
to do the MCU thing.
I don't
they
want
also
them to.
They also could have their cake and eat it too very, very easily. You could have through and I know everybody's sick of multiverse, but through something like that, it's so easy because all you have to do is have a bunch of different properties, and I'll answer your question. A bunch of different properties, and then when inevitably you want to make your Smash movie, you just make your Smash movie.
Yeah, and then you combine them together. Well,
and
no.
your Smash movie doesn't have to necessarily have any bearing on any other franchises. You can just do what the games did and throw all these characters together and have them have a big fun adventure where they have to punch each other in the face, and then
they have to fight a giant hand.
Yeah, exactly. And you also could easily, especially if I'm wrong and Mario Kart isn't in this, your Smash movie doesn't have to just be fighting. You could make it, DJ, you could make it like Secret Wars, and you could just have all these different Nintendo characters having to compete in not battles, but just a bunch of different. You make it like Olympics, just like a bunch of different, not Mario and Sonic at the Olympics, but a bunch of different kinds of.
That would be amazing.
Competitions, right? So you got tennis, and you got basketball, and you got Mario Strikers, and you know.
But yeah, I'm thinking. So what I want them to do is with their Smash movie, it's not like and like Avengers or whatever, where like different universes combine into one, like, and they all go into one universe. I think they should go like the games, and it's some kids stuffed animals that Master Hand turns into like real life characters, and they're exactly like their actual characters, but they're stuffed animals. And you make it all meta.
You're making me want them to do the Lego movie thing.
Yeah.
And and make it meta and have it just, stuff comes out of the TV.
Yeah.
Or like all goes together from actual video games. To your question of what properties I want to see after this, everybody wants Zelda next, and I think for the big Zelda fans and fans of fantasy and people like DJ who don't get good fantasy stuff, that should almost objectively be the next thing they go to. I don't care about that because I don't care about Zelda, but I think that's only fair to the fans. That's the next thing they should make. Yes. And there was that rumor for a long time, which I don't even think was a rumor, that they almost made a Netflix show with Zelda. I think almost definitely the next thing they do is Zelda. What I want after that, so I'm saying I want that because that's what they should do. I don't really actually care that much about that for myself, but that's what they should do. And then after that, I want the sci-fi stuff. I want a Metroid movie.
That is the next thing.
And I want an animated Star Fox.
Yes.
Because I think an animated Star Fox could be bossa nova.
Yes.
But DJ, what do you want?
Really quick, I'm going to read T-Edge1's super chat because it's basically this.
Okay, sure.
We're already talking about it. So he says for $2, does this open up the possibility for other IPs? So that's what we're talking about.
Before today, I would have said it just depends on how well the movie does. This movie will make bank. Unless the next trailer for some reason somehow pisses everybody off, this movie is going to do very, very well. Another prediction I'll make. I think that's an easy prediction. I don't think anybody's going to disagree with that. This movie does at least $7 or $8 million, $100 million, if not $1 billion. I think this movie will do just fine at the box office. Sorry, DJ, what were you saying?
No, I'm just trying to think. Obviously, I want a Donkey Kong movie because that's my favorite Nintendo franchise. It's my favorite Nintendo in-universe franchise.
Could we just have a movie called Minecart Carnage? I'll take the Minecart Carnage movie, please.
That would be amazing. Yeah, I wish Donkey Kong wasn't in this. I wish we could get a Donkey Kong movie by itself first, and then he drops into the Mushroom Kingdom at some point.
I see. I'm still of two minds about it because I love Donkey Kong Country so much that if it's more in that vein, I'm gonna be giddy just to get to see it. But then I'm also kind of with you on it. Like, I hope they win us over on it. I hope we'll be like, okay, good. Yeah. You set it up for good spin-off material, and then we get the good spin-off material.
Yeah, that's honestly what I hope it is. I hope we just go to that world for a second, get a flavor of it, and then Mario leaves, and Donkey Kong never comes with him. I hope he just stays in his world, and then we have that movie later. But this is weird because it's not part of the Mario universe. But it's kind of its own animal of its own. I don't know how it works, but I would like Pokemon to get more of a true adaptation than
we
Detective
need
Pikachu.
We don't.
And I really like Detective Pikachu, but I'm with you. I hope they branch off. And yeah, it doesn't all have to be Mario related. I hope they branch off and most of this is animated. Like, you could do a really cool live action Metroid. I don't need that though. I'm cool with all of this being animated.
Yeah, I don't want any more Ash Ketchum. I want red. I want blue. I want like
I just want a cool Pokemon movie. I don't need it. I don't need anything specifically adapted, but just like
he doesn't need human characters. He's cool if it's just like Pokemon running around.
I need fat Pikachu. Like that's what Pikachu used to look like. He used to look like fatter than he does.
You are
now,
an old man.
And
you are an old man.
And then they made him thin for the anime, and
You're such a purist.
Yeah, you are a massive purist, dude. You're like, here's what your first act of your Mario movie better be, and if it's not that, I'm walking out!
That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. I want them to do that. That's not likely what they'll do.
15 times, this is what it has to be!
No, that's not what I meant. I didn't know how to phrase that it wasn't like, they should do this.
I just want a cool new Pokemon story, a new Pokemon story that's separate from the 30-year-long anime that's been going on forever, all those movies and all that baggage. And then Detective Pikachu won me over with the first half. I was like, oh, this is awesome. And then it just became Pokemon the first movie again with all the Mewtwo stuff. So I was
the only reason I was fine with that is because I'd never seen that movie, so I felt like I was catching up finally. And I always thought Mewtwo had really cool designs, so I was like, oh, cool, they're finally showing this to me. I don't know if I care about seeing that movie. And then a couple years later, I finally saw Pikachu the first movie. And I'm gonna do a minor swear. I don't usually do this, and especially with my kid here, but just this is the only way to describe this, and Jason knows what I'm gonna say. One of the greatest things in cinematic history is Pikachu bitch-slapping Pikachu. It's amazing. I could have watched that scene all day long. Do you remember that?
I remember that, yeah.
It was so good.
I remember that whole movie. That movie's burned into my mind.
What was that?
It was sad. It was sad as a child.
Oh, I thought it was... Jason, I'll tell you, I laughed so hard I almost paused the movie. Like, I just lost it. Hey, I want to go back to Donkey Kong Country for
and I would like a WarioWare movie at some point. I don't necessarily need Wario to be like in the Mario movies, but just a bonkers, crazy WarioWare with all that lore in those games. That would be awesome.
We need WarioWare. And I don't know what it would even be. I want it to be the whole, like, because WarioWare DIY is the only game I played. So
you haven't played the Switch one? You need to get the Switch one.
Yeah, I want to.
There's just so many cool characters in that.
Just put it on your Christmas list and we'll see what happens.
They should. Yeah, we need 9-volt. We need Ashley.
Yeah, Anna and Kat, the Ninja Girls. You got Spit. Yeah. You got all kinds of crazy wacko characters in those games.
You guys are not pitching what I want from a Pokemon movie. I want a first-person Pokemon movie where it's just on rails and it's just a character like taking pictures of Pokemon. I just want like a Pokemon Snap the movie. That's what I want.
That game is beautiful.
It's a safari movie. I played it on the channel. It's so pretty, DJ.
Oh, I love it. I just wish I could get through it faster. I just want to go to the next world. I don't want to complete all the stupid.
That's the only reason I haven't continued with it. I've been in that going on that same track like 55 times, and I can't move on. I'm like, do I suck at this, or is this just how long it takes? Like, that game is trying to give me patience. As like a 38-year-old, I'm not that patient. You can't. This game is not going to force me to suddenly have patience.
Yeah, I got stuck. I didn't get stuck, but I was playing that with my son, and we were on the beach world, no, actually, we're on the night world with the Kangaskhan. But yeah, it's I just wish I could just have all the worlds.
I'm gonna go back to Donkey Kong Country for a second because I just had this thought, DJ. I'm wrong about Minecart Carnage. That shouldn't be the first thing you do. The first thing you do is just because you want like a good.
I think that should just be a sequence in the movie. I don't want.
You want a good? No, hold on. I'm gonna make a whole pitch here. Okay, so you've got you've got like Donkey Kong versus K. Rool, of course, and yeah, you could have Donkey Kong. You could have Minecart Carnage as a sequence in that first movie, but then you build it up real hard, and the second movie is just Minecart because that's what everybody likes from that, and then you call it Let there be minecart carnage.
Oh no! Let's not take cues from that franchise.
I don't actually want that. I just needed to make that joke. That's very important.
Yeah, no, I want a Metroid movie, and I don't want. Okay, as much as I love Metroid Prime, I need them to stop doing Metroid Prime stuff because they just need to get back to the original franchise, which they started doing with Metroid Dread, and then they're gonna put out Metroid Prime 4.
Okay, but a movie version would probably do what this is doing and just try to come up with a way to blend franchises together, right?
That's true.
Story-wise, and that would be that would need to be a much more like plot and character-driven kind of thing than this has to be.
The thing is, I want it to just be the first 3 games, and nothing else. The way that
Because you're an old man.
No,
You don't want to get out of 1995.
No, the thing is, I don't know how they would do Metroid Prime because it's all in between the first 2 games. Like it's first Metroid, then Metroid Prime, then Metroid Prime 2, then Metroid Prime. Like
Yeah.
It would be forever till you got to Super Metroid, and that's the game that everyone likes. So
DJ, let's get back to Super Chats.
All right, let's do it. Senior Six. Would you consider doing Hot Ones if invited, Cap?
Yeah, that'll never happen, but yeah, I'd do that. Absolutely. That would be such what do you, like? I don't care if I threw up. So
Are you Donkey Kong?
Like, why wouldn't you do that? Say it again.
I said, "Are you Donkey Kong?" He just made a like sound.
Hey.
no, I don't know what that is.
Hot Ones is an interview show that DJ and I were talking about on Tuesday that I'll show you an episode or 2 of. The Weird Al one's really good, where it's a really good, insightful interviewer who talks to a celebrity guest, but they're eating progressively more spicy hot sauces throughout the interview.
Oh yeah, you would love that.
Do you like hot sauces?
I like hot sauce.
Handle hot stuff?
He loves hot sauce.
Stuff, yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure my palate's not good enough to withstand what they do at the end of that show, but I would do it. I would try it, absolutely.
Cool. Great question, Senior Sticks. TH1, $5. In my defense last night, I did give you 3 different options, LOL. What is your favorite show on Geekvolution? You guys are really awesome.
Okay, so Tom, I'll just say this real quick. So what he's talking about is he picked the movie for Austin and I to review last night for The Request, which was a movie called Jacob the Liar, which was a Robin Williams movie from the late 90s. Neither of us cared for it. It was one of Tom's favorite movies. And I felt a little bad because I really didn't like it. I raked it over the coals. And Tom was like, well, you could have picked either of the other 2 movies. But Tom, we go into these things blind. So I'm not looking them up and doing research. Like, if I haven't heard of the movies, I'm just going to pick one at random. So, like, you can give us options, sure. But, like, the whole point is we don't know what we're getting ourselves into unless we happen to, just because we already know the movies or we already know something about them. But, yeah, I really picked that at random. So, like, if you give me 1 or you give me 3, it's about the same thing unless I'm already familiar with the movies. But anyway, what else did he ask?
Yes, what is your favorite show on Geekvolution?
Camp Can't Play.
Your favorite show is Cap Can't Play?
Yes. I love you
Captain
just
Logan show,
dying
obviously. That's the only one I'm in.
over and over again.
You're sometimes in commentaries. We haven't done that in a while, but...
Oh, I love commentaries. I absolutely... But that's not like a regular show.
Was he asking you guys, or do I have to pick my favorite show out of my stuff that I do?
You have to.
Oh.
You wanted to.
I mean, what's your favorite one putting together?
It's still Superhero Rewind, even though the format has changed so much and I'm doing it unscripted now. In some ways, I'm actually enjoying it more just because with the, lengthier podcast format and being more kind of off the cuff that way. And I know it's more of a niche audience and not as many people watch it as once did when it was polished and scripted. I've had to do that for lots of reasons. I don't have the time to make that show the way I did and put out more than 5 or 6 a year, but I'm able to bring up so much more stuff and go a lot more nitty gritty than I was before, and it's really fun interacting with the audience when I do that show. So yeah, that is still my favorite thing to do, I think.
And it's your only solo show, so
yeah.
You need to...
So basically what I'm saying is I don't want co-hosts anymore, but I'm married to them, so so I use them 4 times a week. But DJ's not paying any attention to me right now.
Where's your
Sorry.
Where's your 2 other wedding rings?
Whoa.
Wow!
Look who's announcing things now.
That was a euphemism, is what that was.
No,
That
it was a joke.
It was a euphemism. Anyway, yeah. So, but obviously, I love everything we do, or I wouldn't be doing it. Anyway, what else you got, DJ?
Senior Sticks. Donkey Kong should just be Grodd and act Grodd-like.
No,
Donkey Kong's not Grodd, you know. No, I wouldn't want that. But DJ, how do you feel about a Donkey Kong that might talk more or speak in complete sentences? Like,
I'm fine. It's the same thing I said about Mario. Like, I'm fine with whatever you want to do. Just take if you have a take, just do it because the games they don't talk very much. So I'm fine with it. The only thing I don't like about Chris Pratt is that it's taking me out.
Because you know the voice, yeah.
Yeah, well, and Seth Rogen's gonna be the same way. Like, I wish they would have just, if you do whatever take you want, but just have a take and pick someone that's a little lesser known because
This is
so
the point
jarring.
I meant to say earlier, though. I think with certain characters, it's fine if the voice is kind of recognizable because the take could be they sound like this guy. But that only, in my mind, works for characters that don't usually talk. You see what I'm saying? So the reason I think Chris Pratt is such a problem for people is that Mario already talks. He doesn't talk a lot, but he does speak in complete sentences. Yeah. And they're very short, succinct sentences, but he talks. When people go, well, Bowser just sounds like Jack Black, I go, that's fine. Bowser didn't sound like anything before. He just went, "Brawr!" Yeah. That's cool. Okay, so your take is he sounds like Jack Black. I don't have a problem with that. I think too much of that kind of star power gets you too much into that Illumination place of we need all these well-known actors instead of just casting people that are right for the parts in order to sell the thing. It's Mario. It could be a whole cast of nobodies that's going to do the same kind of business. And I don't know how many people that don't care about Mario games go see this or take their kids to it just because it's Chris Pratt voicing it or just because it's Jack Black there. I think even Jack Black fans, most of them, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say have played a Mario game and would have been curious about the Mario movie.
Yeah, I don't understand that at all. Like, maybe it's just to add credibility. Maybe they think it adds credibility to their movie. I don't know why they feel like they need to do that because you would save so much money. You wouldn't have to pay these actors millions and millions of dollars.
I get it with stuff, and I don't like it. And this goes all the way back to like Aladdin with Disney in the early '90s. Like as great as Robin Williams was with that, they sold it on him and exploited him so hard it set a horrible precedent, and that's why we're in this place today. That's one of the first big things that did that, and I get why it's done. I don't like it. I don't think it should be. I think you should trust your material and just try to sell it as well as you can sell it. But I kind of get why we're playing it safe and feel the need to do that for things that nobody's ever heard of. But it's Mario.
Yeah, I have no idea. But I mean, Seth Rogen could be fine. I could like it. I don't know. Like I said, the stakes are real low because Donkey Kong doesn't talk, and as long as I don't think he's going to do like his stoner shtick. I think he's just going to use his voice and act like Donkey Kong. It's not like Donkey Kong has this huge characterization that I need them to nail.
I also think there's this outside ballpark chance that it will be unrecognizable and he really will just be grunting. That would be amazing.
If these movies
well, he's probably a huge fan. Like as big of a Turtles fan as he is, and like he's probably a big Mario and Donkey Kong fan, I imagine.
Oh, so. I'm sure. Yeah. This was a point that Austin made to me, but he got it from I think Doolittle in the Discord. Somebody in the Discord. I just wanted to try to give credit where it was due for this point because I didn't think of this. Do you realize, Jason, that sorry, and we'll get to your point in a second. Do you realize that Illumination is a Universal-owned studio?
Really?
Yes, which means that Universal is putting out a movie now with Donkey Kong in it. After decades ago, they sued Nintendo for Donkey Kong because of King Kong. That's fascinating. It's gone full circle. You never thought that would happen.
So, Mario ride at Universal in Florida?
Yeah, that'd be really cool. But I mean, that's assuming that they retain the rights, considering that Nintendo just started Nintendo Pictures.
So if these movies weren't kids' movies, they would have made in the sequel. They would have made Wario like super drunk and like drink a lot, and because Wario like in Japan, like he like drinks a lot of beer and stuff.
I didn't know that.
But in
I didn't know that
America,
either.
it's all censored.
Well, yeah, well, I don't
Or at
think
least
there's
like
ever.
it was like he did in the early games.
Yeah. I
Well,
don't think
we
there's ever a
censored
world
wine
where
in
we.
Mario Kart games. And I'm sorry, what was that?
I was just saying. He said if these weren't for kids, I don't think there's ever a world where we make a Mario movie that's not for kids in America.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think you should ever make any grand statement like that. Nothing surprises me anymore. Someday you'll get like the hard rated R Mario movie. Wait, no, I'm kidding. Thomas Lowe, I'm just curious about this comment. He said you don't need big actors' names to sell a Mario movie, like we just said. But then he's got like a laughy face, so I can't decide if he's being sarcastic or if he's just agreeing with us that like that's dumb. You don't really need to do that. But I really don't think you need to do that.
Yeah.
Okay. What else do you see there?
Daniverse did make a good point about that, by the way, that
Yeah.
the name, I think this is what he means. All he said was they need names to sell the movies. So maybe the idea is they need names to sell it to the studio, because the studio heads don't have faith in like a Mario thing because they don't know anything. And they're just like, oh, you have Chris Pratt and Jack Black? Sure, we'll pay for your movie. Maybe so. It might be a good point.
But so you may be absolutely right about that. But it's hard for me not, and I realize that a lot of studio heads, executives, really out of touch. But like, it's Mario. Pay any attention. Spend 10 minutes looking at the gaming industry, and you'll see how much money there is potentially to be made there. Like you don't need celebrities to sell that to the general public. But also, it's, I forget what my second point is. It'll come to me.
It's okay. The first one was good enough. But yeah, you would think you would just be able to come in with like a bar graph and be like, look how much money Mario made in the last 10 years.
No, the other thing I was going to say is it's also just Illumination's MO. That's how they sell every movie. Like this is the only way they know how to cast. Illumination's never cast a movie like Pixar cast movies.
It's also just the times. Pixar doesn't do that anymore either, unfortunately. Like Pixar casts big names these days too.
Well, they always cast some big names, but it never felt like we're trying to make it a star vehicle. It always felt like these were the right voices for these roles. And we could argue about whether or not they still have that practice or not. But when you see a Pixar movie, DJ, when you see their trailers, they don't do the Illumination thing where they throw up a whole ton of celebrity names at the end to make it look credible.
Yeah, you're right. They don't like. I didn't see that on Luca or Turning Red, but Onward was the big one where it really turned me off. Where they were just like shoving Chris Pratt and Tom Holland in my face the whole time. Like I had to see their actual faces in the trailers, and they did put their names really big and everything. Okay. And that's Chris Pratt again. So
I guess that's fair. I guess the problem is, I didn't see trailers for that movie, but I guess I don't know. I liked that one. I liked the performances. I guess I felt like they were right for those. They were the right people for those roles. But I mean, it's hard to argue with you when we're also complaining that Chris Pratt is in everything.
Yeah.
And also, you haven't seen Luca.
No.
Which.
No, I'm behind on a lot of stuff. I haven't seen quite a few.
It's a fine movie. It's not.
I didn't see Seeing Red. I like a lot of those recent things I've not looked at. Disney.
Yeah, but I didn't recognize anybody in Luca or Seeing Red, like voice wise.
And you didn't see that one Disney movie that was.
No, and I don't think that was a problem with what was the movie about the jazz musician? Soul. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a big actor, but.
Yeah, but part of the reason is they don't market Pixar movies at all anymore. They just shove them on their streaming service and no one watches them. It's very sad.
Or at least that's what they were doing during COVID. Are we getting them in the theater again finally? I mean, like, obviously Lightyear, they marketed like crazy.
Yeah, that was the first one they put back in the theater, and it bombed.
And it
so
bombed,
we'll see.
yeah.
We'll see how that
But that's
goes.
because they made it wrong. That's because everything about that movie was wrong.
I know. I just don't expect them to learn the right lessons.
Why
And I
don't
still
you
gave
like-
it a chance. I was still hoping against hope, but like once I saw it, I was like, nah. Everybody, I see why people didn't want to see this. Like,
Do you think the Mario movie will be like Sonic 2, where you were really excited for the first trailer, and then the second trailer was more of like, you know, that second act where everything went downhill and then it went uphill again?
no, I'm not expecting that. I'm really not.
I think Mario will go to a wedding in the second act for about
No.
25 minutes.
The rest of the characters will be in a wedding that you don't care about, and Mario and Luigi will be shoved in some jail, unconscious. That's what happened in the Sonic movie.
That's absolutely right. And also what'll happen is we won't get any Mario power-ups or anything for the entire movie until in the last, 5 minutes he finally gets a superstar, and then he just runs around and knocks everybody over, and then...
It'll be the Bomb
Remember when that happened
In,
in the Sonic movie?
in the Mario movie in 1990, whatever.
Yeah.
Mario movie.
Yeah, I think it was just 90, wasn't it?
90.
Didn't they come out in 90?
Pretty sure.
But you remember that was Supersonic?
Yep.
He's finally Supersonic.
Finally.
Like 6 seconds.
Yay.
And now he's unconscious now.
TH1 says for $2.
Cinematographic get bombed? Yes.
Bomb.
Yes. Light
Can we get a Bomberman movie? Let's get a Bomberman movie.
Yes, we need a Bomberman movie.
What does that even
We
look
need an Undertale movie.
An Undertale movie would be awesome.
We need a Cuphead movie.
But now we're getting well out of Nintendo here.
We need a Shovel Knight
We've got
movie.
a Cuphead show at least, and it's pretty cool.
We need a Shovel Knight movie or a Shovel Knight show. That would be awesome. But yeah, we need an Undertale Desert movie. That would be awesome.
Is Cuphead on Switch yet? I need to
Yeah,
play
Yes.
that's how I've got it, and it has been for a long time.
that. I need to play that because that's right up my alley with the.
Yeah, it started as an Xbox exclusive, but that was years ago. It pretty quickly went to the rest
That
of
was
the
like
consoles.
2014.
Yeah, pretty-
when all the big.
Pretty
YouTubers were
quickly
playing and stuff.
it went to everybody.
Sweet.
And it has one of the greatest video game scores of all time.
Yes.
I mean, I would put it in my top 5.
Oh, hey, that's not the ranking we're doing, Cap.
No, but Jason and I are going to do that at some point. Or at
Oh,
least we're going to
sweet.
do, are we going to do single tracks again?
I want to do soundtracks so bad.
Well, we can do
because-
soundtracks and then come back and do singles.
Because single tracks, I have way too many now,
It's
and
gonna be
it's
so
You,
hard.
you would just have to pick 10, okay?
it would just be like 30, and I wouldn't be able to scrap any of them. So I don't.
Oh, yes, you would. I'd make you do it. We'll just do top 30 and we'll make it like a 6.5 hour stream. And
I really want your 24-hour stream after the next one that you're doing.
yeah.
Be just Geekvolution, the 24-hour stream where like you just do like all of your shows. But
Announcing
like
things. What's this guy? What's this guy get? First, he
And it's-
encroaches
and
on
it's
my
20
moderating
but it's
space, and now he's
24
coming in
hours,
and announcing things.
like you do some Captain Logan show, and then you do some superhero rewind, and then you do a request, and then you do another request, and then you do a commentary.
So omnibus.
Yeah, I mean,
That's true.
We essentially used to do that. Yeah.
That's
Monthly.
true. But
I don't
for 24
wanna-
hours.
I don't want to do a 24-hour stream that I have to do that much preparation for. Because you don't know how, like, I don't mean I'm lazy. You don't, by hour 17, you don't know how with it you are. Like, you know, if I would have to take meticulous notes and I'm just reading from notes and that's no fun. Like, you know, we're like, I'm totally dead to the world, but I'm just like slurring my speech, just reading. But I do like the idea of segments, potentially. But I have lots of ideas for 24-hour
Or you should do
streams.
some commentaries, and then like, or
What I want to do now is just play Mario for 24 hours. That's what I really want to do.
or you do a big Captain Logan show 24-hour stream, and then every once in a while it cuts to some like pre-recorded content, and it's 24. And it's like someone has infiltrated the bunker, and like someone has put a chip in your ear, and you're like gonna attempt to kill the president or something.
Wow. That's all your ideas are so elaborate.
So complex and complicated.
Okay, let's move on, shall we?
All right.
We got about
TH1
20 minutes left in the show, folks.
TH1 $2. Get ready for penguins with movie spin-off, LOL.
But
Like
they're not.
Penguins of Madagascar.
The Penguins of Mushroom Kingdom.
Yeah, I think no, that's a good point. And I think he's also probably going to Minions there a little bit, where it's like here's your big like breakout characters. They're not playing them cutesy that way. Like I don't think that'll happen. But
And that they're probably just gonna be there for like 20 minutes or less.
And I hope we get like traditional Goombas and Koopas and all those guys.
we already saw Koopa Troopas in that scene, so.
And Magic
Yeah,
Koopas.
yeah. I just hope, I hope we focus more on like the traditional Mario villains than those penguins. As happy as I was to see them because they reminded me of Donkey Kong, I don't want them to. I hope they're just in that one scene. I think that's just one kingdom that he conquers at the beginning, and then we won't see them again, hopefully.
Oh, but if that's the case, then they're going to lots of different kingdoms, and that makes you think that DJ, you could be onto something, and that was just them going to like the Tropical Freeze Kingdom. And then, because I know everybody's going to the Penguins in 64, but I'm telling you, it was an army like in Tropical Freeze, like, and they could be both really easily.
Yeah, just don't go to the owl boss in Tropical Freeze because you'll give Cap nightmares.
I'll have PTSD if you do that.
And then,
yeah,
and
don't have Mario fight anybody underwater for any amount of time because I'll just lose it. Like I can't have that.
No, a giant eel comes out to play. And then when Mario gets all 120 stars, then that's the big Yoshi reveal on the roof of the castle. And then also, all the penguins become fat. Because that's what happens in Mario 64. The penguin that you race, if you have 120 stars, he's fat, and it's hilarious.
You know what I want though? I want this. You just gave me this vision of this really serene scene where Mario comes upon like a big ocean space, right? And there's like a aurora borealis above it or something, and he's gonna have to like swim down to try to find something. And in the score, we just he's looking out, and we're just with him for a good 35 seconds. It would be so cool if we got that scene. I want that bad now. I hope
and if there's a scene where he starts sliding down something, he needs to weave the slide score into that.
Yeah. Well, and if you get like, I'm asking for too much 64, but given that we got the star at the beginning with Bowser, I'm expecting some 64. I also hope that if he gets the superstar, we get that music from the superstar with 64, where it's not just dun 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 dun. We'll also get the melody. Dun, 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 dun. I hope we get that too.
No, I think instead of doing, I think when like Mario finally steals the star from Bowser, it either does the dun, 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 or it does the Mario Galaxy one that's like dun 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 dun.
Well, and I also think there could be a whole like space movie at some point, which wouldn't just have to be Galaxy stuff because there's quite a bit of Mario space stuff now.
Yep.
Will we get any Odyssey in this movie? I mean, you could do a whole movie where you do Cappy and like
the toad with all the stuff that's just from Odyssey.
Oh,
there are toads like that.
Okay, I didn't realize that. Anyway, let's continue, shall we?
All right, another one from T Edge. $2. So DJ wants a Pokemon Rescue movie? LOL.
Yeah, that's true. I want a Pokemon Stadium movie.
With the mini games? Did you
Yeah.
play the mini games? Oh, they're so fun. Wow, you just took me back. I forgot I had that memory. I used to play the crap out of those.
And then the
mini
sequel is Pokemon Coliseum.
I never battled. We never ever used the actual stadium. We just played the mini games on that one.
Oh, that's funny.
I always played the stadium.
Is that the 64 game, or am I thinking? I like that one quite a bit. And I'm
Yeah,
not
and
a
then the
Pokemon
sequel
guy.
was Coliseum.
I got that years ago, just real cheap at a yard sale or something, and was like, I guess I'll try this. And I was like, oh, this is more my speed. It's not an RPG. Like, it's just battles. I can do this.
Yeah, it's just battles.
And I'd play it with when Jason got old enough. I played it with him quite a bit. And,
Imagine if it was
I love
just
that. It's fun.
the Pokemon Go battles. That would be the worst game ever.
That's just Pokemon Go. What do you mean?
You guys, my wife is really into Pokemon Go.
She's really into
And-
Mario Kart Tour. She's really into Pokemon Go. Like,
Oh, I mean, I played Pokemon Go for years when it came out. It was huge. Like a lot of people I knew were
Well,
playing that.
she waited till it wasn't as popular anymore. She has half the Pokemon you can collect. She has like 400. It's
I
crazy.
stopped playing it when they went to the other generations because I was like, oh, I don't know any of these Pokemon. I don't care. But the first gen, I got like everybody, except for the ones that were exclusive to like Australia. Like you can't get Farfetch'd, which is just and Kangaskhan and stuff. It's just
what?
annoying.
You can't get far-fetched unless you're in Australia.
It's something like that. So there's a few
Oh.
Pokemon that are only in different countries, which is annoying.
Well, I guess we have to save up for plane tickets now because my wife is a completionist. No, she's not. Okay, moving right along.
All right, Goofster123, $5. I didn't see White Castle in the Black Panther trailer. My disappointment is immeasurable.
You did see Riri Williams, but not the White Castle. Yeah, no, she's in her Iron Man suit, and it's real dark. I couldn't make out the suit real well, so I don't know what that armor looks like. But DJ, it's weird that that's where she's gonna be introduced, and then get her own show. I guess this is really the first time we're doing this, right? Where we're introducing a character in a new Marvel movie right before they get their Disney Plus show instead of the other way around.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Because that movie, I didn't realize how close it was. That movie comes out next month.
Wow.
Wakanda Forever. That's about to come out.
DJ, what was your first Pokemon game?
My first Pokemon game was maybe Stadium or Ruby, whichever one of those came out first.
Ruby.
But that was
My
my
first
first.
was Moon, and I played the heck out of that. I played that for like 3 years and got to like the last island and then got stuck. So
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. I completed the entire Pokédex on Ruby, including all 3 Regis and Latios because I had my friend's Sapphire game that I got Latios from, and a Rayquaza, and then it fell down into the vent in our car, and I lost it, and
oh no.
I was very, very upset and heartbroken. I've never played another Pokemon game since.
So let's go back to that super chat for a minute so we can talk just real briefly about that trailer. If you take me away from the super chats like that, Jason, the timestamps get real wonky. So anyway, Jason had not seen a trailer for that yet, so I'll let him weigh in on it real quick. You watched it right before the stream. Are you excited for that movie now that you've seen a trailer? And how do you feel about that cast and having to do a movie, obviously without T'Challa and all that?
I don't really care.
Oh, okay.
Like, I don't even know what they're gonna do. Like, I don't really know what the plot is. I don't really know.
Well, it looks like it's a
anything
big war
about
with
it.
Atlantis.
I don't really.
Okay, but I thought you were. This is not the reaction I was expecting because I thought you were excited about Namor.
Like, I was excited about Namor.
Because he didn't know
but-
Namor was in it, and then I was like, "Oh, Jason, by the way, that's Namor." I thought I was gonna have to explain to him who Namor was. He was like, "Yes, Namor," and I was
Well, it
like,
was established he's an old man.
I didn't know you liked. Oh, that's right. Yeah. If it exists pre 1970, he's probably stoked.
Yeah, I didn't
No.
know he was in that either. That's
I
crazy.
didn't know you even
no,
knew anything about Namor.
I don't know. I feel like it's gonna be kind of boring because I don't recognize like any of the characters.
You just haven't seen Black Panther
And
enough. I mean,
I don't know anything about Black Panther.
it's the cast of that movie.
and I've only seen
Minus
that
T'Challa.
first movie once.
Oh, is that Ryan? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll show it to you again. Then maybe you'll be more excited about it.
I've only seen it once too. I need to rewatch it. I'm kind of in the same boat, but I'm not like upset about it or anything. I'm excited to check it out. I hope it's great.
I mean,
just-
I
didn't even
hope
watch the
it's
trailer,
good.
so.
Like, I'll watch it. I'm just not very excited about it. Like, I'm excited about the bad guy, but nothing else. Like,
Yeah. I don't want to repeat myself too much. I'm still so much in the camp that they should have recast T'Challa that I'm having a hard time, like, having the feelings people are having about, this being a, like, tribute movie to, an actor that has passed away. Like I'm hoping, like, it certainly looks like it's got potentially a story to tell, and it's about an ensemble cast now a lot more than just a character. And I think we can delve even a lot more into Wakandan society. It looks like we're not going to spend that much time in like America or anywhere else in the world besides the two countries that are at war, which might be really nice. But I also think it still has the potential to just be too stuck in like mourning territory where the movie, it's almost like a meta piece where the movie itself is too much of a tribute to a person than a story moving narrative forward. And obviously it's sad that Chadwick Boseman died, and there's worry that some people have that we're like capitalizing too much on his death to sell a movie, and it's like it's so sticky because like I can see that argument, but on the other side I can also see them going, well, we were gonna make a sequel and we had it slated, and we're afraid that if we just make it a movie and we don't make it like a funeral, that we're doing a disservice to that actor somehow. I see both sides of that. If you just recast it and waited a couple of years, I don't think you have to worry about all of that too much. And so it seems like there's a controversy that shouldn't be here, in my mind, if it is a controversy, because I think it's going to do a ton of money, and I think a lot of people really want it to sort of be a funeral, and that's not what I want from it. I'm not saying it can't have that component. I just hope that we're able to move on from it, and the rest of the cast is able to take his place okay. But I'm also still really leery of just how in universe we're killing him off, and that doesn't get sidestepped too much. Having said all that, I think Namor looks awesome. Production values look pretty good. There's still the worry of not well integrated CG, particularly with some of the water effects and stuff. But we'll see how that looks, when the movie comes out. I think the female Black Panther suit looks great, and we'll see who ends up being in it. I heard a rumor, if it's not a straight up report, because I'm not sure, recently that some things about that movie had to be changed because they're having, as we've heard for a couple years now, issues with the actress playing Shuri. And I'm thinking that that's code for they were going to make her Black Panther like she has been in the comics, but they decided to change that so she's in the movie, but now she won't be Black Panther, and we're going to give it to Okoye or someone instead. That's what I think is probably happening. And like I like Okoye also, but I know not everybody's with me. I loved Shuri in that first movie, but if they're having a hard time getting along with that actress and they don't feel like they can step her up to a superhero, I get that, whatever. But anyway, so I don't know. Those are just my quick thoughts on it. Daniver says Cooler didn't even want to make it at first. If that's true, he shouldn't have. I guess, if that's true.
Unless he means he didn't want to make it at first and then he really got excited about the story or something. I don't know what he means by that. That's
true, yeah. And you can't know that until you see it. Because that tends to be evident in a movie.
Sam Raimi.
Well, I was gonna say, like, I don't know if he ever said it, but like Nolan could have said that till he was blue in the face with Rises, but watching that movie, I never in a million years would buy it. You know what I mean? Like, this is a movie I didn't want to make, but then suddenly I had a story and it washed over me, and I was like, I don't buy that.
Well, yeah, we can never trust anyone. Like with the Chris Pratt stuff, like, oh, well, this has been a dream since I was a kid. Like, who knows? I don't know. I have to hear The Rock talk about how he's been a fan of Black Adam since he was a kid from the '80s. I'm like, no, you weren't. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I don't believe that for a minute. Yeah, we're just selling movies. Like, you got to make your press tours.
Connor Nielsen, $4.99. I can't wait for the Smash Bros. Movie where Pratt Mario teams up with Haskins Mario to fight the Mario Super Show Mario, and they all do the Mario.
That's how MCU would do it. Do we have any more super chats right now?
We have one more from Senior Sticks that just popped in.
Let's knock that out and then go ahead and start wrapping up here.
He says, if you do a 24 hours will DJ also have to do 24 hours, Cap?
No, I invited DJ to part of that stream. Nobody's gonna do the whole thing with me, and I will probably do blocks of it on my own. I've invited a few people. I'm not gonna have it segmented out like I did last time, where there's somebody there with me almost the whole time. Probably it might work out that way. I've invited, I don't know, 5 or 6 different people. But I don't have it scheduled out yet. I don't know who's going to be there for what times. Some people might double up. We might have 3 people there at the same time, and then I'm by myself. Like, I'm letting people just come in when they have time that day to come in. Austin's going to do the first leg of it with me. So this is the 21st into the 22nd. So 2 weeks from now, I'm going to be watching DCAU episodes for 24 straight hours. And I'm letting. Oh, and you know what? I completely botched this. I meant to do a top super chatter tonight, DJ.
Oh.
Who I was gonna let pick 3 episodes for that. Even though I didn't announce it, we still could just figure out who the top super chatter is and give it to them, because that was supposed to happen tonight. I want to do that once a week until we get to the stream. So if you don't mind figuring that out for me, DJ.
Yeah, sure.
Is that doable at this point in the show, or?
Yeah, I have them all written down.
Okay, cool. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. There's a extra special freebie for whoever is the top super chatter, because I did not announce that at the beginning of the show. But anyway, I'm gonna be starting at 10. I'm doing this backwards from last time. I got up early in the morning last time. I'm gonna do it actually at the end of the day this time and just take a nap in the afternoon. 10 o'clock on Friday night, when we usually do the Friday night stream, Austin and I are gonna do the first leg of it into the wee hours of the morning, and then after that, Jason's gonna take over for Austin. I might do an hour or 2 by myself, and then when Jason gets up, he's going to come down and do as many hours as he wants to, and then we'll have a few other folks at different points throughout the day.
And each co-host can pick an episode.
Each co-host is going to pick an episode, and then the rest of it is going to be picked by myself and the audience. I put my feelers out. People have already recommended some episodes. I'll do that probably one more time and let people keep picking episodes. We're going to watch random episodes through the whole day instead of doing any kind of order or watching one show for a while, because I think that could get kind of boring. So we're going to put a bunch of episodes on a wheel, and I'm just going to keep spinning it. So sometimes it'll be Batman, sometimes it'll be Superman, Justice League.
Are you allowed to, pick 2-parters?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd let you pick a 2-parter. Absolutely. Thomas, I suddenly remember the April Fool's video where Cap went live and no one came the whole video. I hope that doesn't happen for the 24-hour stream.
Because I have a 2-parter in mind, but
Robert Weil, I just hope they don't pick too many Batman episodes Cap already covered on Bat Chat. Well, but Bat Chat was a long time ago. We never finished that show. So I'm with you. I'm probably not going to pick too many myself of that show, but I will revisit probably some of my favorites, and there will be plenty of time.
I know you're going to put the Grey Ghost on there. So
I don't know that. Well, somebody recommended it, so that will go on there.
Oh, well,
not necessarily because of me. Yeah. Anyway, just waiting for DJ to finish the tally there.
You should do it.
Yeah, I've already got it. You ready for it?
You should do a 24-hour Lois and Clark stream.
Nobody would be there for that, but we could watch quite a bit of the show that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, DJ. Go ahead. Well, actually, I say that. I think those were 20. No, those are 24 episode seasons. What am I talking about? We could do one season.
So in third place with $5, we have Goofster. In second place with $6, we have Senior Sticks. And in first place with $11 is T-Edge1.
Okay, so Tom's going to pick 3 episodes for us. So just send those to me when you get a chance, Tom. And again, if you weren't here last week, folks, whoever wins the top super chatter for these shows, each episode counts as a half hour. So if you pick a 2-parter, you only get to pick one more. You get to pick an hour of shows, not a bunch of 2-parters. Anyway, the anniversary won't just be Batman. We'll do a good, healthy smattering of everything else. And if I can get access to Static Shock, I'll do a little bit of that too, because I've hardly ever seen that. I don't think that's on HBO Max. If it is, I'll just put some of those in there. But I'm going to obviously pick stuff that people have access to. So the 5 main shows is what we'll be doing. But again, if Static Shock is easily gettable, I'll put that in there too. Okay, so DJ, I think that's it, man.
That's all I wrote. That's all she wrote. That's all I got.
Okay, well, thanks a lot for joining us tonight, folks. A little bit of a shorter one for what we've been doing lately, but we've got, again, After Dark here in a little bit. So if you want to keep hanging out with me and have Brandon and possibly Austin, you can go to patreon.com/geekvolution. If you're not already a patron, it's just the $2 tier, get you access to that. And just wait a few minutes, and you'll have a link in your email to join us for that show. We'll be doing some fun topics. We'll be reading bad fan fiction, and we'll be talking to you guys and answering any direct questions you might have. Tom says Static Shock is on HBO Max, which is great. Then I will do some of those as well, even though I've never seen them.
I don't know anything about that, so.
Cool. Well, that'll be a treat. That's a neat show from what little I've seen of it. And that show is weird because it starts out not in the DCAU, and they talk about DC superheroes as fictional, and then eventually they just retcon that and make it in that universe, and those superheroes start popping up in that show. It's really funny. Well, folks, we're going to go ahead and get going. We sure appreciate you being here, and I will be back again tomorrow night for a double feature watch party for the original Wolfman movie and then the brand new Disney Halloween special, Werewolf by Night. We'll be watching those blind, Austin and I, and then I'll be back again on Monday for a new Superhero Rewind. I'm going to be talking about what you see behind you. I'm going to be doing a collection video, and depending on how long it goes, I might have to break that into 2 parts, but I'm going to go at least a couple of hours Monday night and see how far I get and just show you guys what I've got. And then Tuesday night, another Captain Logan show. So thanks so much for being here. DJ, do you have any other words of wisdom?
I never have any words of wisdom. I am just a lowly moderator here.
Okay, Jason, give us words of wisdom in 10 words or less.
10 words or less. Okay.
Okay, I'm about to play us out here.
These are words of wisdom.
Oh, good job. He gave us words of wisdom in 10 words or less.
And they are in
English.
English.
We'll see you later, folks. Thanks for being here.